I have no idea what the hell could happen in 2017 to outdo the awesomeness that 2016 has been. Oh man, I did not see 2017 happening the way that it has. I feel like every time I do these year reviews, I'm like, oh, this year was even bigger than the last year. I don't know how it could possibly be any bigger. But honestly, and I mean it as sincerely every time I say it, and do genuinely not know how something could be even crazier and bigger the next year. But this year, I think is pretty self-explanatory. It has been the biggest change and biggest growth and development that the channel's gone through. And I feel that I've gone through as well. So I wanted to just take a little bit of a look back at 2019 with you today. It's something that I've done since 2013. I did year reviews before they were cool. So I'm going to keep up this tradition I'm going to be doing this year. I'll link in the description to all the previous year reviews. So if you're curious or if you're new to the channel or you just want to look back with a bit of nostalgia, you can go back and just get the little summary bite-sized year recap to sort of see how far the channel's come, which blows my mind because I just still can't fathom that I'm lucky enough to be doing what I'm doing and that you watch my videos. It really does blow my mind. And this year is just like, I don't even know where to start. I think the most obvious place to start is the most obvious thing. It's the change. This channel and my life has never gone through as much change as it has this year. This year, 2019, is definitely the year of overhauls. And the first and biggest, of course, was the move. We moved to a new studio, so much more space, and I think the content we've made this year really shows how much this space has just absolutely lived up to everything I wished I could have in this space and everything I thought I could do with this space. So before we get to what I've done with the space, let's just backtrack to the move itself. Now, some of you might remember PJ back early this year. He was part of moving the studio and he made a fantastic piece of content that really just sort of sums it all up. So I'm going to link to all the videos that I refer to through the course of this review in the description, but let's start off with that piece of content because it's got to be one of the biggest moments on the channel, and I think that piece of content, that video, really highlights how big of a move it was, how much went into it, and how much the space has already changed and grown since then. I think my favorite thing about that whole moment was how much I got to be really dramatic with it. I really felt like I was doing the tablecloth trick, you know, when you grab the tablecloth and there's got the food and things on the table and you whip it out and it's all there, but it's ta-da! So on the vlog channel, I pre-filmed weeks worth of vlogs of me just answering questions as if it was happening chronologically, but I filmed all of those in a day. I did the premiere / live stream reveal of the goodbye video where I painted over the old mural and said nothing. It was so mean and it was the most satisfying thing to do. I don't know why. It was everything I hoped it would be. And then we went immediately from that mystery to this huge reveal of this new space and the celebration of everything that we can do moving forward. It's just been such an amazing step up for the channel and opportunity to do more, bigger and better things, which I really think we've done. Seriously, as soon as we moved into this space, it became this playful place. And I feel like that every day. When we make content here, it's like we really can just move everything into whatever production we're making at the time. And it's so versatile. Everything is on wheels, so we can move that set of shelves out of the way, open the big door and bring in a golf cart and make the Tesla Cyberbug. Which, by the way, that is so far gotta be my favorite piece of entertainment content on this channel. Just so fun. And then I did the drug education ripple effect video series where I turned half of this whole room into a giant green screen set using 2 huge backdrop green screen rolls. We basically built our own studio cyclorama and it all fit in here. We have the rails and the pantographs and the lights, some fantastic filming equipment. So the production of the videos has really gone up, but the most important thing is that the possibilities have just completely expanded. And it means whether I'm thinking small, like just drawing a certain picture or doing something tiny, or thinking big, golf cart, cyclorama, it can all be done in here and it's really cool. I think the next thing on the list has to be Jazza's Arty Box. This was a real moment for the community and for the channel. I think it's just, maybe it's the fact that it feels like this really real thing in the world. The only real thing that I've been able to sell to people so far has been merch, like shirts and prints and things of that nature. But this was really just such an exciting collaboration with myself and Smart Art to put together my favorite art supplies in that limited edition box. You guys supported it like crazy. We sold out like twice. My mind is blown with how much happiness has come from people having that box, and it's exactly what I hoped it would be. But really the biggest thing about the Artie box that has just made me so happy is just seeing everyone, young and old, just drool over what's in it. I mean, that's the thing that I'm most happy about with the box, is that I was so focused on making it perfect and making it about sharing all my favorite things, and seeing other people love those things too is just so cool. And seeing what you guys have made with the Artie box is just incredible. So now back to the channel content itself specifically. Obviously the studio has allowed me to do some bigger, crazier stuff like the stuff I mentioned. But another thing I'm really excited about is that as an artist, I still feel like I'm able to really focus on and sink my teeth into some projects and make things that I'm truly proud of. And this year I've made some of my favorite artworks. I've really gotten into sculpture, I'll be honest. Like there's something about the result of a sculpture, the process of sculpting, that I've always really loved. And so the giant monster clay sculpture was one of my favorite projects this year. Again, one of those projects, and there were a lot of these this year, where it took me like 4 or 5 full days working late at nights to really get it in a time frame where I could still keep content regular on the channel. But that's an example of a piece of content as well as an artwork or a result that I'm just so excited that I get to do for a living. And that makes me feel like, even though obviously as a YouTuber I'm focused on making content and getting better at doing that, it's really gratifying to feel like, okay, well, as an artist I'm still challenging myself and pushing myself into places that are really difficult, but end up with me feeling like I'm learning new things and I'm producing better things than I have in the past. And that's been really satisfying. A lot of work, but really satisfying. Of course, we did VidCons this year, 2 of them. We did VidCon Anaheim and VidCon in Melbourne. Both of them were just incredible experiences. I love meeting you guys. It's a huge gratifying experience. Both people who are collaborators or colleagues who do YouTube and whose content I admire. Just enjoying what we all share in common and just getting to geek out over that and meet in person has just been so exciting. Now back to speaking about this year being the year of overhauls or change. I think the second biggest, maybe first, I don't know, maybe equally the biggest change on this channel this year was the name change. Obviously from the beginning, this channel has been called Draw with Jazza. It has always been referred to as Draw with Jazza. And as I explained in my goodbye video, which again, freaked a lot of you out, which I'm slightly proud of, I'm sorry. Obviously, as I mentioned, I've loved sculpting. I've also loved so many other things: virtual reality, 3D printing, foam, cardboard, clay, bonsai, Cybertruck. From more traditional mediums to paint digitally or traditionally or otherwise, to playing with holograms or learning to knit. This channel's always been about art and creativity. However, Draw with Jazza was how I started the channel, and focusing on a niche like drawing and early on like tutorials is really how the channel was lucky enough to pick up momentum, and it was great timing and really helped identify and shape the channel at the time. But anyone who knows me knows that I am not a drawer, I'm a creator. I really am addicted to just making stuff and getting excited about making stuff. So I decided to drop Draw with from the channel name, and as you know, we've officially changed to just Jazza. And honestly, I'm so glad I did. I was a little unsure in the first few weeks. It felt right, but you're always going to doubt yourself with such a big change and something that people have been accustomed to, or something that has been associated with you for so long. But really, I assumed or hoped that it would make me feel free to do whatever I want, and it really has. And I also feel like most of you who have joined me on this journey haven't felt like content has really changed all that much. Ironically, there were more drawing videos after the channel name than there had been in a while, and it might be that I came to resent the feeling like I had to draw, but I didn't always want to draw, so I just didn't. And then I changed the channel name, got rid of Draw with, and just made it Jazza. I'm like, great, I can do whatever I want, what do I feel like doing? So I feel like drawing. Awesome! So I did lots of drawing, but I've also done lots of other things, and I've felt completely guilt-free in the process, which has just been really cool. From foam sculpture with a chainsaw to working with artificial intelligence to corrupt characters. We've played with TikToks, we've done 3D pen stuff, sculpting with clay, we've tried different cheaper expensive paints, played around with Fiverr, built a Cybertruck, and recently, and again, this is another top for me, I would have to say my #1 most favorite artwork on this channel so far, as far as a self-contained art project video goes, was the video that came out just like a week or 2 ago. That is the Warhammer virtual reality sculpture. It's something I've wanted to do for so long, to sculpt something in VR with as much attention to detail as I can, feeling like I'm actually capable of using the tools, and I did that, sunk my teeth into it for like 5 days, worked late nights, 3D printed it over a week, and then spent several days and late nights painting it, and the result is something I'm just like, oh, so proud of. It's another example of one of those projects that made me really push myself, and the result is there for me to see every day and just be ecstatic about and proud of and feel like I'm doing what I always wanted to, and I'm really grateful for that. But speaking of what I'm really grateful for, this year of any year I've ever had professionally has demonstrated to me that this channel is so much more than me now. Even though we've gone from Draw with Jazza to just Jazza, this channel is certainly not just Jazza. In fact, all these huge projects that we've been able to pull off recently, from the Ripple Effect campaign to the Warhammer sculpture and the Cybertruck, none of those would be possible without the team I have behind me and the partner I have by my side. Jazza's Jazzy Art Box wouldn't have been possible without the hard work and teamwork of the Smart Art crew, who pulled it off with flying colors and were fantastic with customer support and communication and just being great people and recommending some fantastic food when I was in Anaheim. We went and ate sushi. It was the best meal of my life. Oh, I might tear up just thinking about sushi. Oh, I love sushi. And furthermore, and very obviously, none of this would be possible without you. So I want to spend the last part of this video just saying thank you, because I have so many thanks to say. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to my wife, Kate. She is my business partner, my life partner, and my best friend. It is no accident that it is basically from the time that I started dating and then married my wife that my life came together, and things like my channel actually turned into viable careers and futures that we ended up teaming up and working on and running together. It's just been an incredible experience, a growing experience, a learning experience, sometimes incredibly fun, sometimes incredibly trying, but I could not be happier with anyone else by my side. So a little bit of love for Mrs. Jazza in the comments. And then we have our team, from my sideman Gareth, who edits and films with me on the go, to Billy, who's my remote editor. Doesn't get as much visibility on the channel because he's not on the camera, but these guys make these videos happen, and fast, and they are not getting smaller. And then we have the rest of our team, the unsung heroes who don't really get any spotlight on the channel, but without whom we would not be able to function from a business standpoint to a life standpoint to a logistics standpoint. Dusk, Georgia, Amber, thank you so much for making our life function, because it doesn't do so easily at times. All the collaborators and sponsors I've worked with through the year, thank you for making projects that we dream of doing viable. And last but not least, you. There we go, broke the fourth wall. You. Yes, you. Statistically, a lot of you watching this are pooping right now. Ooh, that was a good one. Well done. Go. Good job. Push harder. I'm sorry. I always have to go to poops because I'm getting emotional. So I'm redirecting. Honestly, this year has been a roller coaster. There's been so many ups and downs, and the downs have been a bit tough. There have been times where I lose perspective and I get lost in the work, and then the work sort of consumes me to the point where at times I sort of lose sight of the things that have brought me here in the first place, or given me that satisfaction, or the people who make these things possible. It doesn't happen often, but it happened a little bit more this year than I'd like to admit. I think, frankly, there's just been so much more stress in my life than I would have expected or was ready for. But at the same time, there's been more bittersweet moments and triumphs, and there's been so many more successes and wins than there have been any difficulties. So at the end of the day, it's all of those that are possible because of you and because of my team, and I'm just really lucky and really grateful. So let's look forward to 2020. What can we expect and what do we want? Well, I have two things in mind. One, I want to finish the studio. I know it's been so functional, but there is like a little set over there I'd like to finish. That's on my list, you know, the prop thing, the art supply prop thing. I want to get back, I want to finish that. But then the other thing, and I would say the main thing, is I really want to let myself feel satisfied this year. I know that sounds silly to say because I'm in such a satisfying place and I'm so lucky to have you and to be doing what I'm doing. But the funny thing about being a creative person, and a lot of you will relate to this, is no matter how hard you work or what you achieve or where you end up getting, it's so easy to get in that place and only find 100 new things that you want to achieve or that you didn't quite get right. At the end of the day, that's what drives us to greater heights as we aspire to outdo ourselves or deliver something bigger and better. And I've always sought to do that, and I won't lose that part of myself, but I really want to make sure that in 2020, I focus on the gratitude that I really do feel. And I am so grateful. I'm so grateful to be standing here at my standing desk in my outstanding studio with my incredibly outstanding team. 2020 is going to be fun. It's going to be hard work. There's no avoiding that. It's just part of being a creative and stretching yourself. But I'm going to spend more time on the hike and on the climb to stand and look at the view and share that experience with you guys because you're the reason I'm here. So thank you. So 2019 is upon us, and what I can say is 2019 has some very big plans that are going to be kicking off very shortly. Some incredibly exciting changes, additions, partnerships that I can't wait to share with you guys and to just see what happens. I want to wish you all the best in your 2020. Go out there and do everything you ever wanted. Because you can. And I know it's corny to say, but at the end of the day, like, what a time to be alive. Like, sometimes, like, I turn to my wife and say, today, I sculpted in virtual reality and 3D printed it. Tesla just released the Cybertruck. I'm going to make one out of a golf cart. It's dumb to say, but what a time to be alive. It's friggin' crazy. So, in summary, thank you, thank you, thank you. And until next time, I'll see you later.